Thank you. I grew up with a crying father. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you why exactly that saved my life. And why maybe, just maybe, it might also save yours. When I saw my father for the first time, he was crying. I can't recall that because I was a baby. It was at the hospital, but I'm pretty sure that he did. I'm pretty sure because on numerous occasions in the following years I saw him cry, and all of them were far less emotional than my birth. I saw him cry when he was upset with me and angry. I saw him cry when he was fighting with my mother. I saw him cry when he was just generally sad. But I also saw him cry on really beautiful and pure emotional moments. When we went to the cinema and watched a heroic movie or a romantic comedy together. When he stood in front of an artwork at the museum that really touched his soul, or when we went to a cathedral and he couldn't wrap his head around how beautiful everything was. I saw him cry when he told me that he loved me. But to get to the point of what I think why these experiences saved my life, I have to get to what I think threatened my life the most first. So while I grew up with a father who seemed really attached to his feelings, I quickly learned that that wasn't as normal and accepted as I thought around men. Most of my friends have never seen their dad cry or express any other emotion than the widely accepted ones like anger and frustration. And maybe it's the same experience you have. Because for many men, feelings in our society still equal weakness, which can be a quite deadly misconception. I'm a words guy, I'm not a numbers guy, but I know that the numbers don't lie. When I look at the statistics and see that the male suicide rate isn't up that high by coincidence. And for the words guy that I am, I was really too close to becoming one of those numbers. What I'm trying to say is that I was so afraid to open up about my own trauma, about my anxieties, about my depression, that it nearly cost my life. That I was really close to become just another man who died of his conception of what he thought a man should be. But I didn't. And I didn't because I came to a realization that many of us have once they grow up. I was far more like my father than I ever wanted to be. And through this realization, through years and years of ongoing therapy, many talks with my close friends, I realized not only the beauty, but also the power of vulnerability. Vulnerability can result in many things, but I have a personal top 3. So this is my top 3 of things vulnerability can be. Number 1 is a mirror. Number 2 is a magnet. And number 3 is a shield. It's like the Coldplay song. Be my mirror, my sword and shield. Except it's not the sword. But it's a mirror. Because once you start to open up and speak fearlessly about who you are, others will not only see you, but they will get a glimpse of what they are, truly and deeply. And they will start to soften up, open up, and make this place a little bit softer and a little bit more open. The second thing is a magnet. Before I started to go to therapy, I knew nobody that went, except, obviously, I did. But it was only when I started to talk openly about this topic that people came up to me, really close people came up to me, and I learned that the vast majority of everybody I knew wasn't only battling the same battles that I did, but they went to therapy for years and years. What I like to tell you is that once you lie down on the floor, people will start kicking you. What they don't tell you is that the right people won't. They will lie down beside you. They will watch the clouds pass by, talk to you and listen. Once your times come, they will help you get up So, if this wasn't hard and macho enough for you, I've got a third thing that vulnerability can be, and it's a little more battle-proof. It's a shield. This concept was brought to pop culture by a movie called 8 Mile. It's a really good movie. I think my father and I cried to that movie as well. In this movie, which takes place in one of the most toxic and masculine environment there is, battle rap culture. I love battle rap culture, but I have to state this because it shows you that this strategy even works in this rough environment. The main character has a final battle against his arch enemy. And what he decides to do is put it all on the table. He puts all his weaknesses and anxieties on the table right in front of his opponent, closing with an iconic, "And now to tell the people something they don't know about me," which leaves his opponent absolutely speechless, and he wins the battle. What he does is taking all the weapons pointing at him and forges a nearly indestructible armor, which is, by the way, a quite sustainable thing to do also. Those things can only hurt you as long as you hide them, as long as you are ashamed. And that's why I open up. I open up in my work life and in my personal life. It has made me a better artist, and I hope truly and deeply that it makes me a better human every day. And that's why I think having a crying father, a man attached to his emotions, saved my life. And that's why I think vulnerability can save the world. And it's basically the only thing that can. So you better walk around in that shiny magnetic armor of yours and see how everything softens up for you. Be soft. It's not too hard, because as long as we treat this life as if it was a single-player game, there's no option we can possibly win. And if I'm allowed to state a last wish, I truly, deeply hope that your kid will one day grow up to a crying dad as well. It might just save their life. Thank you.